When I first shared my craft room makeover, I had a lot of extra space to store all of my supplies. Now that I've lived in this space a few years, I've collected a few more gadgets. I'm sure you can relate to that. So I really needed to kind of declutter and organize my space a little bit better. I'm going to start with my favorite Cricut hacks, but this could apply to lots of different craft machines. Since I store my Cricut on my back Kallax unit here, I'm always moving it around every time I need to do a project. So I bought these feet that help appliances slide around on countertops or desks. It's as simple as attaching the feet to the bottom of the machine and just waiting a few minutes for it to stay stuck before you start moving it around again. I love that I can now slip and slide this machine around on my desk anytime I'm shooting a video or doing a quick craft project. The second Cricut hack I found is hanging my cutting mats on my actual desk. This has been a game changer for me. If you have rulers or other things to hang, this could be a great solution for you. You might remember that my craft desk is actually an IKEA tabletop with 2 Kallax shelving units on each side. I found that every time I wanted to do a Cricut project, I had to run over to my craft cabinet and search for my mats. This wasn't a major problem, but it was just not as convenient as it could have been. To solve this problem, I found these little command hooks that are perfect for attaching to any IKEA furniture like a desk. This is such a small thing, I know, but I am so in love with these little mini hooks. I can organize my cutting mats by color. I even printed off this little cheat sheet to remind me of which materials I might need to use for different types of cutting mats. These hooks hold up to ½ pound, so I was even able to hang my paper trimmer on one of these hooks, and it's really nice to have that handy when I'm in the middle of a Cricut project. Hack number 3. I've also collected more Cricut blades and tools since I first set up my craft room, so I found 2 awesome ways to organize these. My absolute favorite is this blade storage insert. How cool is this? And this organizer even came with a nifty little cheat sheet or set of cards that reminds you of which types of blades are used for different materials, and it gives a little description of the blades, which I think is really nice. So it's been really handy anytime I've had to do a quick project. On to hack number 4. For the other tools, I decided to attach these hanging drawers underneath my desk. They attach with 3M tape, just like another command hook, and it's just really, really convenient to have scissors or Cricut weeding tools and things like that right where I'm sitting. And this is a great example of something that I didn't really know that I needed until I started living and working in this space. So I definitely recommend, if you're trying to go through some craft room organization, start out with kind of a base plan, live in it a little while, and then figure out what other storage you need instead of trying to buy everything up front. If you do need help with storage ideas, I have this handy checklist over on my blog, and I'll put a link to it down below in the description box. Hack number 5. Sometimes the best way to organize your space is to divide the space you already have. To maximize space in my Kallax unit, I decided to add this split shelf. It came from IKEA as well, and it was just an easy way to split up my easy press and my heat press supplies. Just as a reminder, IKEA sells all types of inserts for Kallax shelves, so you can always get the shelves and then figure out later what kind of inserts you want. You can put baskets in there, drawers, just a regular swinging door, and all sorts of other configurations. On to hack number 6. Last time when I did my craft room reveal, I had my vinyl in a couple of different places. I used a basket in one of the Kallax units, and I had another little compartment where I stored some rolls that came in bigger packages. Well, like a lot of crafters, I've collected more supplies over the years and lots more vinyl rolls, so I needed a better way to organize these. I decided to try hanging my vinyl on a door hanger, which has wonderful reviews on Amazon. First, I organized my vinyl rolls by the type of vinyl before figuring out how to group them or how to insert them into this roll holder. It fits perfectly on my craft room door, and no one's gonna see it hanging there when the door is open. It's also a really great way to actually see all of the vinyl that I own, because I can tell you, I have things that I had totally forgot about because they were just stuffed away in a basket and I couldn't actually see what I had to work with. So I feel like I have a lot of new project ideas coming up because I can actually see all of the different vinyl that I own and get inspired. Hack number 7 is going to sound a little bit silly at first, but when you think about it, this is something you can apply to just about any room in your home. When I installed these Billy bookcases, I got the extension that makes them taller than a regular bookcase. This was a great decision because it gave me more storage, but the problem was I had trouble reaching the top shelves. So this little step stool has allowed me to store more things up high, and I would say if you're struggling with storage, look vertical, and maybe there's a way you can find some shelves you can put up high and just get a little step stool to be able to reach everything that you need. Hack number 8 isn't so much a hack as a tip. Once I reshuffled everything in my craft room, I reorganized some things in different drawers, and I had trouble remembering where I had put everything. So to get around this problem, I just whipped up some easy labels with my Cricut. I used removable vinyl so that if I change my mind again or have to reorganize things, I can always take the labels off very easily. And having my Cricut machine with those new feet underneath made things really simple to move it around and have multiple projects going, putting things on new mats now that I have my mats right next to me. So you can start to see how this area becomes a little more efficient with some of these other hacks that we've implemented. Hack number 9 is kind of related to hack number 8, and that is to try to use temporary labels as much as possible. In my last craft room video, I showed you how I attached these little bin labels to some of the cute baskets that I bought, and it has been so easy to move things around and then relabel them as I have to reshuffle things. So that is definitely something that's come in handy. Hack number 10 was my biggest project to tackle. I had this cabinet in my craft room that was filled with other random things that we had all stored in there. It wasn't really a craft room cabinet. It was kind of like the everything cabinet, almost like another closet. So I decided to tackle organizing this space so I could really make it craft room only. So once I got all of that stuff out, I decided to order some more bins and more little storage drawers so that I could organize my things in groups. So I first kind of took inventory of what I had in the cabinet, organized things, and then decided which needed to go in which drawer, and again created labels for everything. Another great way to organize a cabinet is with vertical file storage. This rack was easy to put together and it takes less space than stacking items. I'll include a link down below in the description box if you want to check it out. I can't tell you how much better I feel now that this cabinet is organized. The rainbow labels not only look prettier, but they are helping me to find my supplies more easily, and it also prevents me from buying more supplies than I need. I'm sure you all can relate to that. Just remember, you don't need a craft room to be a great crafter. You just need a space that's organized and functional for you. So let me know which of these hacks worked for you, and if you missed my craft room reveal, you can check it out over here. Hope to see you back here next time.